Hi everybody, welcome to another knitting tutorial from the 750 Knitting Stitches, the Ultimate Knit Stitch Bible. As you remember, the first one we did was cables, and we're going to be doing cables for 4 weeks. This is week 2 of the cables, and it was the sweeping cable, this one right here. And I have already knit up a few repeats. Now you really can't see the cables because this yarn's very springy, so you have to literally there's your cables. And I think I did 3 repeats. It's an 8-row repeat. So get your yarn, get your needle on the size for your yarn. I have a row counter here that we're going to do, and your cable needle. First thing you're going to do is you're going to stitch on a multiple of 8 plus 8, because I start and end each row with a knit 4 for a garter stitch edge, and it just helps give definition to your square. So cast on. I have a multiple, I have 32 stitches, 4 times 8, and then I have 8 stitches for my edging, which gives me 40 stitches that I have on my needles. So go ahead and cast that on, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, the first row is all knit. So remember, both wrong side and right side, you're going to knit your first 4 stitches and knit your last 4 stitches. And when we knit every row, that's called garter stitch. So go ahead and knit your first row, and I will meet you back here for row 2. Okay, I'm coming to my last 4 stitches, which is my edge stitch, and like I said, this whole row is knit. And that is the end of row 1. So we will row 1. Then you're going to turn your work. And row 2 is simple. Knit your first 4, purl across till you have 4 stitches left, and then knit those. So I'll start it with you. So I'm going to knit my first 4. And then I will purl across till I have only 4 stitches left, and I will knit those 4. And I'll meet you back here when I get to the last few stitches. Okay, onto my last 4 stitches. I just purled across, and then I'm going to knit my last 4 stitches. And that will complete row 2. Row 2's done. Row 2's done. So turn your work, and now we're going to do our cable row. There's only one cable row in this, and this is basically a 4-row repeat. So we're going to do a C8 cable, C8 back, which means cable 4 back, and then knit 4 from the front. So what I did on mine was, in my repeats, because it's 8 stitches for each cable, so what I did was I did my 4 edge stitches, then I have 8 stitches for my cable, then I did another 8 stitches, and then I did a second cable, so it would look like the picture, and then my 4 knit stitches for the garter edge. So we're going to knit the first 4. I love my takumis, but oh, do I hate these cords. So we're going to knit our first 4. And then we're going to take our cable needle, and we're going to slip the next 4 stitches onto the cable needle, slide them off and hold them to the back. Then we're going to knit the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to knit the 4 stitches from the cable needle. And again, remember, find out what's comfortable for you to work with doing your cables. I'll put this in a little closer for you. Just gonna tilt the camera here a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to knit the 4 stitches from the cable needle. This is the only row we cable on, row 3. And that completes your C8B, your cable 8 back. Then I'm going to knit the next 8 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we are to our second cable. Take your cable needle, slip the next 4 stitches onto the cable needle and hold them to the back. Knit your next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then knit the 4 off your cable needle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And like we said in the beginning, you always knit your first 4 and your last 4. And then we knit the last 4. Okay, now that completes row 3. Now row 4 is very simple. You're going to knit 4, purl across until you have 4 left, and you knit those 4. So I'll meet you back here for row 5 and 6. Okay, I'm to my last 4 stitches, my edge stitches, which I will knit. And that completes row 4. Alright, rows 5 and 6 are a repeat of rows 1 and 2. And if you remember, row 1, right side, is knit all the stitches, and row 2 was knit the first 4, purl till you have 4 left, and then knit those stitches. So you go ahead and do rows 5 and 6. Rows 5 is all knit. Row 6 is knit 4, purl till you have 4 left, and then knit those 4 stitches. And you do that twice more. Okay, that's actually 5, 6, 7, and 8. Knit all the stitches, turn your work, knit 4, purl across till you have 4, knit 4, turn your work, knit all the stitches, and then your last row, row 8, which is the last row repeat of the 8 row repeat pattern for this cable, is knit 4, purl across, knit 4. I'll meet you back here when I am on row 8, which is the last row, which is the purl row on the wrong side. Okay, I've completed my 2 repeats of rows 1 and 2 again, which, just as a review, let me put you out here a little bit. I did the row 5 was all knit, row 6 was knit 4, purl to the row 4, then knit 4. Those first and ending 4 knit stitches are your border, and that's something I added because I just couldn't do the cables. And then I repeated that one more time, knit all the way across, and then knit 4, purl till there's 4 left, and knit the last 4. So that's what your square looks like. So why don't we just cast this off, because I'll keep this block. I ripped my first one out, the diamond one, but I think what I'll do is I'll keep my swatches that I make you and just put them in the square bin and figure out what we're going to do. So to cast off, now you can cast off in pattern, or you can just do a regular knitted cast off. I'm just going to do the regular cast off, because if you want to knit off in pattern, what you do is you knit 1, knit 2, because I'm on the right side, and pass that stitch over, knit 1, pass the stitch over, and don't make your stitches too tight because it'll pull. And you do that all the way across until you get to the end. And that's just a knitted cast off. I have a new cast off I learned using a new crochet, doing the 2 together, which gives you a more stretchy bind off, but that's another video. Okay, sorry about that. I had to change the battery out. The other battery gave up. So then we'll just continue binding off like that. Now, when you're doing a cable, no matter what kind of cable it is, cables have a tendency to pull your material in. So usually blocking is suggested. But again, I block everything I make. And I'll just continue knitting, casting off here. Alright, I'm going to continue casting this off, and I'll come back when I get to the last couple stitches and show you what we have. Okay, we're to the last few stitches to cast off, bind off, whichever way you want to refer to it as. I just grabbed my scissors and a tapestry needle. We'll just actually complete the whole project. There's my stitch, pass that one over, pass that one over, and the final stitch. Okay, and I just pull up my work, take my needle out. I just cut off enough that I can sew the end in. Then I take my loop, and I pull my tail through. And bind off. And there. So let's just finish this up. Let's just finish this up. Do our finishing work. I usually don't do the finishing work in the video, but what the heck? This wasn't a real long video. But this was a relatively easy cable to do. The one for the next tutorial after this, for this week, is a lot more involved. It's got 4 different kinds of cables, and it also has a knit bobble. So I'm going to have fun. That was going to be a longer video. Anyways, so let's just sew this end in. I just turn my work over, and I take it, and I just sew back and forth on my little purl bumps, just enough to secure the end. Cut that off, and then we have our tail from down here, from down the cast on end. I'll zoom this out. Okay. And these needles here are pony needles. I got them with some of my free points at Hobie, and I absolutely love these needles. If you look at the point, I absolutely love using these for finishing work, because it's got enough of a point that I can, you know, split through the yarn so to secure it better. And again, we'll just go through the purl bumps, get down, and then I'll just kind of weave back up through here, because it's just a square, just a swatch. Then I'll cut that off, and I am going to have to put it in my pile of blocking that needs to be done. And I keep my needles in my little clover thing here. I actually got a couple different places I keep my needles. And that, I'll try to, like I said, it needs to be blocked. That is your sweeping cables swatch. So, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And the next tutorial, we are going to be doing it from the very beginning, because it's a 20 row repeat. So I'm going to do the 20 rows right along with you, other than my cast on and my edge. Usually I'll do like a garter edge, which I didn't do here, which I should have done here, because it would have helped with the curling. Excuse me. Now in the book they did this on a reverse stockinette. I preferred the regular stockinette. So I hope wherever you're at, you're staying safe, you're healthy, you're happy, doing what it is that makes you happy. And remember, hug, smiles, and happiness. Pass it on. Make the world a better place each and every day. Be the light in somebody's dark day. Here is bye for now from Deer Island. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this journey of us learning how to do different cables. Bye.